Hey traders from around the world, welcome to your Wednesday real life stock review. It's me, Jeremy, Alexander Newsome, and the super exciting news, it's also the 1st of August, which means there is a new challenge for the month. And I've already completed one of them. So here is the video. If you want to check it out, got a new challenge for you. I had another trader, my buddy Tony up there in Chicago, is also, I met him in Chicago. He lives in Iowa. Already completed one of the challenges, so go ahead and click on it, check that out, see what it's all about, do the hokey pokey. Here is the daily chart on the SPY, and I've been mentioning if we're going to bounce off of this price, which is certainly possible, I'm going to be waiting realistically just for a close above this little wick bearish candle we got 2 or 3 days ago. Because again, this purple line, and as you might remember, I talked about not too long ago that if the stock really does and the market really does break out and make a new high, all the newbies are going to hop on there. And then the stock's going to pull back, just make sure they're nice and trapped. So this is easily a spot for us to bounce. Totally could happen. But we need a close above here, and the reason I want to close is because it is such a strong resistance, and we already have moved very far from April. Right, if you bought at April on the SPY, you're already up massively. So congrats, buy the dip. Someone once told me that we're in a bearish market. So yeah, still going up on the SPY, looks good. If we can get a close above 281.96, I'll be a little bit more sold on the bulls shorter term. Here's the Qs, and the Qs today with Apple's phenomenally fantastic earnings. We're up a little bit. Decent morning star pattern here on the Qs. And what you'll notice is we also did pull back to that 50 EMA. And the 50 EMA is at 170, that 174, 175 price. Secondly, this is also the previous all-time high. Previous all-time high here back on March the 13th. Good looking level. That's the SPY and the Qs. Here's the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. The Russell, little interesting candle. We're just hanging out for the most part, doing our thing. And then the Dow Jones, the DIA, was down 0.42% today, but again, for the most part, just hanging out. I do not have any swing trades open right now, believe it or not. I closed CELG today for a small game. There are some traders still holding it, and if you are, congrats. But again, CELG, if you want to keep it open, if you want to play it bullish, this was a beautiful move, one of my favorite trades, really the last 2-3 months. And here's the long-term moving averages. So I think that 200 simple could certainly be a target on CELG. My goal and objective for August, though, is to be and make August the most profitable month year to date so far. Not including cryptocurrencies, not including long-term stuff, because none of that really counts. Just purely short-term income-generating cash trading. And I mean, last month was pretty abysmal, 1.69 Rs. Yes, it was profitable. Yes, that's a good thing, and I'm definitely not going to complain about it. But overall, got to do better. I will do better. It's going to be better this month, so stay tuned for just overall greatness, because it's coming your way. In fact, let's go ahead and talk about some of the stocks that were requested. I'll also look at 2 or 3 other ones that I want to check out. First and foremost, I got a lot of requests from Square, and rightfully so. Earnings are going to come out on Square, and I'm really kind of interested to see what's going to happen. I'm not really bearish unless Square opens below 62.88, which is certainly possible, but not really likely. If it happens, I think we could trade down to the 100, maybe even the 200 eventually. Otherwise, you could look at this trend and go, yeah, it's a pretty bullish trend. If Square gaps up, in my opinion, it's almost a certainty that it fades. Because, again, Square's moved around 100% this year, right at it, and that's pretty amazing. So there are going to be some traders that are going to lock in some profits on Square. If you are one of the numerous real-life traders who has some positions in Square, just write into your plan, there is a possibility for some rest and some slowdown. Another reason why I did this covered call up here, but here's your lower highs on RSI, and here's your higher highs on RSI. So you have some bearish divergence. That doesn't mean that we're going to drop like a rock. It simply means we're running a little bit out of steam. We're going to trade sideways for a bit, and that's okay. Unless, of course, we just really bounce off the support and just rocket higher. All I'm saying is if you have shares, just put into your plan, maybe we rest here, just so that if it happens, you're going to be okay with it. But this 85 covered call expiring in August, that's a really comfortable one. I don't think we get up there. If you have at least 100 shares, you could consider doing that. That likely expires worthless, or we're able to buy back, and then we'll be able to do like a September 85 or 90, or maybe even October for a little bit longer. But that's kind of my thoughts on Square. Now, Twitter, TWTR, had a gnarly bearish gap and go the other day. Tons of people making money on that one. What's interesting here on Twitter is now we actually have a relatively decent pullback. So we're right around the 200 simple on the daily. Yesterday was an inside day candle. Today was a pretty small high wave candle as well. And it looks like she might try to make a double bottom here on Twitter. So if you're looking at playing it on Twitter, this is kind of like that $3 risk position I'll be keeping an eye on. Probably will end up making that official and hanging on to that for a little bit. But again, if you're trading on a bill paying time frame and you need to make the money because every 30 days the bills come due, then you really do have to zoom into that hourly chart, that 15-minute charts, make some quicker, faster trades and adjustments in, out, do your thing, move it on. Because longer term trading should realistically be pretty easy. For the last 3.5 years that we've all been together, for those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel, I tell everyone, buy some shares of Apple. Why? In my opinion, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's the most profitable company in the world. They make just a comical amount of cash and profits every single day. Every day. I mean, it's unbelievable. Or hundreds of millions of dollars a day. Every day. So this is a gap and go on Apple. We talked about it. Feel free to go back through any of my previous reviews. But I mentioned if Apple gaps above 197 on earnings, she's gone with the wind. Today's open, 199.13. And check out how we did play this one officially today in the day trading room. Look at this 3-minute chart. Oh, I mean, this is what dreams are made out of right here. And I got to give a shout out to one of my good buddies as well. I'm going to pull this up. Give me about 7 seconds. Where did he go? Right there. So this is the 3-minute chart. I'm going to pull up the exponential moving averages here. And the 3-minute time frame, you'll notice we just traded. We gapped up. Everyone started taking profits. All right, trade up higher, higher low with a nice lower shadow. That's good. So you got a nice higher low, lower shadow. We traded higher. We came back down, and we formed the best morning star I've ever seen in my life. This bearish candle and this bullish candle had the exact same high at the 10 on a bullish gap and go on Apple. I mean, so good. So this is the setup, my buddy. I gotta give him a shout out, Mauricio. He's been working really, really hard recently at some trades. Here's the setup that he did. This was an option trade. So you'll notice again about that exact same entry that I was showing. He bought there, again, just a contract. You don't have to have a huge amount of money or invest tons to make some gains on Apple, but one contract at $221, selling that contract at $3.45, snap. That is nice returns. I love it. Good job, Mauricio. So anyway, that's Apple. Expected to continue higher. I do. We're going to blow through the $1 trillion mark pretty soon. And per this plan, which is still actually very valid, I think we could easily get up to the 208, 209 level. If you do have shares, there's a lot of us doing a 215 covered call on Apple. I don't necessarily fear of getting exercised up there. It is possible, but dividends are around the corner. I'll probably wait this one out, but I might end up buying this one back if I need to. However, this is a really strong gap on Apple. Turn the hourly chart on, buy the dip. It's going higher. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I trade Apple relatively frequently. I think it's going up. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Apple. What else do you guys want to look at? I don't know, Google? So Google is posting a Morningstar reversal. I was looking at it yesterday, and I wanted to stay with inside. This candle hasn't happened yet, but we'll be setting that up a little bit later today. TLRY is up a little bit of a decent bullish gap, so I'll probably be scooting that down and seeing how I can play a Morningstar reversal down here on TLRY. All kinds of really good things to keep an eye on. Here's IQ. A lot of people like looking at IQ, and I talked about this one yesterday, mentioned it would fade on a gap up, and it did. Today's a really interesting candle on IQ. For those in the afternoon swing trading room, we found a pattern on another stock that it really is matching up almost perfectly with IQ. And I think we have a crystal ball on this one. So today's candle is going to be really pivotal, because if we bounce and make higher highs and higher lows, IQ should be okay. But if we take out the lows of the last 2 days, which is a tweezer bottom, I think IQ goes lower, much lower. Anyway, we will see. That's my analysis, folks. Remember, just throw some requests my way. If you want me to look at something specific, I'll be happy to. And I'll be doing that again on Friday for free, because, you know, Real Life Trading is the best stock market education company on the internet. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, love life, live life, trade. Bye.